So this is Afinia 3D Systems. We are going to be unpackaging our Afinia H479 3D printer. It comes in this box. Has the fragile keep dry symbols on the box here. Model number, serial number, our website, afinia.com. Inside the box comes a packet with the installation manual, quick start guide, installation software. Our accessories box. Which includes a full roll of premium natural white filament, 700 grams, vacuum sealed with desiccant for keeping the ABS dry for as long as you've got it packed in here. Power supply. And assorted tools. Pair of gloves used for removing support and raft material so that you don't cut yourself with a sharp object. A putty knife, sharpened edge for removing the models off of the base. A snipper, pliers for removing the raft material and support material. Power cord to go with our power supply. USB cable. Tools and screws for assembling our system. Filament guide and ABS removal tools for cleaning our perf board. The hanger for our filament that'll be connected to the 3D printer itself. Clips and nozzle removal tool. The clips are for connecting the perf board to the platform, and the nozzle removal tool is if your nozzle becomes clogged with ABS material, you can use this to remove it, clean it out with some acetone, and replace it, or replace the nozzle altogether. X-Acto knife here for fine detail trimming and cleaning of support material from your model. Three perf boards. These perf boards have small holes in them that the ABS material will actually penetrate into and adhere itself to this board as it lays onto the platform. Very important thing in regards to this is that when you're printing a model, you want that model and the raft that it sits on to be as tightly bound to the platform as possible. Otherwise, if the model starts to move, shift, lift, you're not going to be able to get a good print. Last piece is a tweezer, forceps, again for fine removal of support material. So again, those are the supplies it comes with. and we'll go ahead and get started here. So on our quick start guide, it's going to have unpackaging instructions. On the reverse side here, it's going to have installation and setup guide. The unit itself, as it's packaged in the system here, the accessory box fills this cavity here, and the rest of this is enclosed in very high impact foam. Our foam has cavities in here so that we can allow this system to be fully pre-assembled. So it saves your time and makes it so that the system, again, arrives safely. So on our printer here, there's a few different parts that need to be removed. And that's a clip that is located here. That's to be pulled straight down. And what this clip does is it makes it so this print head, extruder head assembly does not move laterally during shipment. Save this piece if this unit needs to come back for service. It's good to have this back on there so that we don't create any damage shipping it back. A small piece of foam cushions the extruder head to the body here, and there's a clip here that needs to be removed. And again, this clip here is for isolating movement on the system. Save this clip as well, again for shipping back to our facility. So now, just different pieces that we have here. This is the platform itself. The platform is attached with 2 screws that are located on the bottom of the platform. The platform then has on the bottom thumb screws that are used for leveling our platform. 2 in the front and 1 in the rear. They're spring loaded, and you can adjust it out and adjust it in to get levelness on our platform. On the back of our system, we have the power switch, our extruder head, wind baffle assembly. Wind baffle assembly will be used for controlling temperature going across the top of our model as we're printing it. And an initialize switch. Initialize switch will bring your printer online and offline. And the indicator light here tells you different statuses of the printer, whether it's receiving data, whether it's printing, or any kind of an error state. On the back of our printer here as well, we have our badge, states Afinia 3D, serial number, and also our FCC statement. These are FCC certified pieces of equipment. Next step in our installation guide is attaching our spool connector. And to do that, we'll be removing one of our screws. On our device or hanger here, there's a indentation in the top and then a hole in the bottom. The screw that we just took out is going to go through that hole in the bottom. And the indentation that's in the top of the hanger is a recess for the screw that is opposite corner from there. And we'll go ahead and tighten. Next, we'll open our ABS material. Our ABS material has a little padding. Needs to be removed on both sides. And there's a beginning part here that's covered with tape. Remove the tape, and it's fed through a hole. For the filament itself, you want to make sure you start off with a nice clean edge on the filament. So we're going to snip off the end here. And when we're hanging it on our 3D printer, how this is rolling off on the back side here is how we're going to hang it on the device, so that the filament is pointing up and back away from the rear of the device. We'll bring it up, click it into the groove on our hanger, remove our tube, filament guide tube, and we'll thread the tube, the filament through the tube. One end will rest on there, and you can just set the other end inside this hole on the extruder. Just give you a visual on that. Now the next step is for us to actually install our software. And our software operates on Windows XP, Windows 7, and Mac OS as well. As our software is installing here, I'm going to go ahead and connect power to our printer. Okay. So the software is now installed. I'm going to go ahead and power on my printer. And you'll notice the red light is on. That means power is to the printer, but the printer is not initialized. So now I'm going to go ahead and click down on the switch. And you'll hear a series of beeps. The fans will start on the printer, and it will start to find home position. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and take my perf board. I'm going to place it on the platform. And take my connectors. And on the corners, or in an area where it will not be printing onto the platform, I'll go ahead and use these clips to clip down. So just as a mindful point is how you attach these connectors. Before you send a print job, make sure that you don't have something that will be printing into those areas. Otherwise you should adjust where you put your clips. If you didn't want to use the clips, which is what we recommend heavily for you to do, the other option is that there's a series of screws in here that you can connect 6 screw points from the perf board. Makes it more of a pain to remove the perf board once you're done printing, because that's another really good tip, is that you don't want to remove the model from your perf board while it's still attached to the platform. It's much better to take the clips off, remove the perf board altogether from the system, and then remove the model from the perf board. So we've got a green light. It means we're initialized. So we're going to go on to our next step, which is actually connecting the USB cable to our device. Now we're going to go ahead and open our maintenance section. And inside the maintenance here, we are going to start to level out our platform. And we're going to first extrude our filament. And you'll see we have a status light here where it's heating our platform right now. I'm sorry, it's heating our nozzle to 260 degrees Celsius to where we'll start to eject the filament. Other things in the maintenance area here that we have, we can do a withdrawal, and that's good for taking out the filament and exchanging it during a print. We have new spool, and in our new spool we have a setting for ABS and for PLA. We're going to go ahead and select ABS, and we select the weight in grams. With the premium filaments that we ship, they are 700 grams. With the Dialine filament, those are 1 kilogram, so you put in 1,000 grams. And this is just a nice guide for you to know when you're getting low on filament. It will actually tell you that the filament's too low to finish a model, and so that you don't leave at night while it's processing and come back and find that you've only printed half a model and you have to throw away everything. So our next step again is to set our nozzle height. First thing we do is click center, and that will move the platform and nozzle to the center position to each other. And by default there's a value here of about 118 or 119. I'm going to go ahead and click 2, and in clicking 2 that will raise our platform up to 119 millimeters from the bottom position. And you'll see that there's actually quite a bit of space now between the nozzle and the platform itself. Now that we'll set our nozzle height, I'm going to go ahead and click it to 130 and click 2. And the objective here is to get to be within 0.2 millimeters of the platform itself. Still quite a bit of space. I'm going to go to 133. And you want to do this in smaller steps, because if we give too much in one bite and we get into the nozzle, we are going to potentially damage the nozzle. So as a guide here, we're going to be using a folded up sheet of paper, and also use the sleeve that the CD comes into. And here we're a little too close. We'll use our radio buttons. Bring that down. And now I'm able to slide the paper back and forth. I'm going to go ahead and copy this. And then I'm going to put in a value of about something less. Click 2, just so that I can get the platform away from the nozzle. And then I'm going to go to the front left corner. I'm going to go in, I'm going to paste in my value again and click 2. And come back and measure. And that's pretty good. Go to the opposite corner, the near right. And my clip. Then I'm going to set my nozzle height. And we can do a test to confirm the settings. So if we were needing to modify the alignment of our platform, we would turn these screws here and check with our nozzle to go back and forth to make sure that we're level. So we've set our nozzle height, and then now it's changed our value here of 134.3 as our max value.